Hello guys, my name is Kaimana Kane, and today I'm going to be giving you a book review on Who Was Jim Henson. So you may know him from popular kids TV shows like The Muppets, Sesame Street, but he doesn't exactly appear in those TV shows. So you may have heard of The Muppets, like maybe Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, and a lot of other stuff. So he actually made those puppets, like kind of acted them, pulled on those puppets, and well, he created his show. He created his own show, The Muppets. So he was born on September 4th, 1936, and the thing that gave him this idea was he was a boy who loved drawing pictures of animals. And as you know, some of the characters in Muppets, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, those are all I know, but I believe there was a dog and a few other animals too. I only watched it one time when I was, not one, maybe quite a few times, but I don't know. So he was born on September 4th, 1936, and he actually had a really happy family. And in the beginning, you'll see what I'm talking about. They always smiled, they always read stories together, they always played a game called croquet, or I don't know, yeah, on this page right here, like whenever they accomplish something, they usually play a game of nice, happy croquet. There was a happy family. Jim's mom took care of the family. Jim Henson's mom took care of the family, and also her her husband. So yeah, it was a happy family. They told stories. They played the organ. They played the piano. It was a happy family. All of them were smart. They knew how to just do a bunch of basic stuff and also some stuff they need in life. So then he started like, what do I really want in life? So he thought about it, and a few days later, he said, I want to do something creative for the kids. So that's when he not really exactly invented, but he made the puppets. So he started doing puppet shows, different things. And then one day when he was making a new puppet was an invention of the really famous puppet. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, no, but he made Kermit the Frog. And it like took a whole page, but it was actually really dramatic. So his first puppet show was called Sam and Friends, basically the Muppets. So he just keeps on doing more shows that are basically alike on what he does, like Sam and Friends, Muppets, Sesame Street, all those regular things for kids' TV shows. But he was actually really shy, and well, he had a fear of talking in front of people, like he had stage fright. So that's why I thought it was actually really smart of him to make someone else do the work, but you're actually controlling the person you're doing work. That's what puppets are. So, 1956, he finally got his own show. He was a teenager who puppet shows were on TV. And then a few people started knowing him, many more, several to know, and a bunch of other people knew him. He actually appeared on the news once. Yeah, this book's kind of messed up. I can't exactly always find the thing, but here you can see Kermit the Frog, one of his first shows. He doesn't look that nice, but yeah, I can't find it. But I think he appeared on the news. So he actually had a really smart way of doing it, because TVs were actually really rare at that time. In his city, there were only 1,000. So when he did the television, so he put the small television right down here. And then he'd hide behind this wall, like kind of right here. He did the puppets, and he looked at the TV the whole time. And well, so there's a film recorder right here. The film actually appears on this TV behind the wall, so you can see everything he's doing. And I think that's a really creative invention. So he started appearing on TV commercials, and he thought it gave it a good tune, or a good, like, kind of jolly old spirit to whatever the product he was selling. So in 1958, he went to Europe and finally started doing more puppet shows. So, and he actually even appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, and there was a dog Muppet, and he was actually much more popular than the Ed Sullivan, but however you say it. So the dog actually got more fan mail than Ed Sullivan himself. So yeah, you kind of get the pattern. He made puppet shows, he became famous, and people started liking the Muppets. But then, this was when his life was about to change. The famous show Sesame Street called Jim Henson, and at that time he had his own Muppet business slash firm, and all the people were so excited when they heard this. So now they're really famous, and yeah, it was really interesting to see how it is. I thought it was just a bunch of people making the puppets, not Muppets. But yeah, I think it's really interesting. So they got a real fun song, Being Green song, and it was Kermit songs. So he was in a lot of plays. The puppets were in a lot of plays, and he actually had his own movies, I think, at the end. And they see one of the puppets in this over here. So he had like the Dark Crystal. I think that was a movie. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure. But he created Big Birds. Yeah, the Dark Crystal, right there. So here's his death date. Sadly, he died on May 16th. But he had a really, really nice funeral. There are a bunch of people attended it. There are people who got their own fan signs. They created their own puppets, slash Muppets. But yeah, and while they were playing his song, they played "Being Green" by Kermit, Jim Henson, whatever you want to call it. And it was actually really nice. So the Saints actually marched into the big colossal place. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right there. So yeah, I think his life was really interesting, and I'm actually glad I read this, and it just makes me have a whole new point of view on like being creative. So yeah, I think this was a pretty good book, probably 9 out of 10. Not a lot of these books get these high ratings, so I recommend you guys reading this. Who was Jim Henson? He was the creator of the world famous Muppets. So I hope you liked this book review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And Shaka out of here.